Football favourite Kylian MBAPPÉ is set to continue at Paris Saint-Germain after French and international media outlets announce his extension.
Mariupol falls after Russia captures the Azovstal steel plant and its last Ukrainian fighters surrender. Meanwhile, Kharkiv is liberated, but remains vigilant.
The number of detected monkeypox cases continues to grow, with France, Germany, Belgium, and Australia reporting their first infections on Friday.
Spain's former King Juan Carlos's first trip home after 2 years in exile sparks widespread criticism. Footballer Kylian Mbappé will play with Paris Saint-Germain for another 3 years. According to daily newspaper L'Équipe, the French superstar who secured his team 36 goals this season stays. Months of negotiations with Real Madrid failed to secure the 3-time consecutive winner of the League One Player of the Year award a contract with the Spanish side. But French and Spanish media sources both say the forward will announce his extension on Sunday.
After 3 months of siege, which left the majority of Mariupol in ruins, Russia has announced the capture of the entire port city after seizing the Azovstal steelworks plant. The plant was home to the last pocket of Ukrainian resistance within the city. Russian state media reported almost 2,500 Ukrainian fighters stationed there had surrendered since Monday, including 500 on Friday. Some of the captured soldiers were said to be hospitalized, while others were taken to a penal colony. Their futures are uncertain. After failing to seize Kyiv and Kharkiv, Ukrainian military authorities say Russia is concentrating its efforts on the east and south of the country, notably to secure the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Despite having pushed back Russian offenses, Kharkiv remains vigilant and is regularly subjected to shelling from Russian troops. In his nightly address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia should be held financially accountable for all the destruction caused.
We urge our partner countries to legally recognize that Russia must be held financially responsible for the crimes it has committed. This is important not only in the context of this war waged by Russia, but also in the context of any other aggressive actions, whether by Russia or any other potential aggressor. Evil must be answered and know that it will be punished.
In the Donetsk region, there are those who are still undecided whether to stay or go. Some leave because the Russian offensive has left them with nothing. Others feel they cannot leave because of their age or just because they cannot bear to leave their homes behind.
Monkeypox is being detected worldwide, with healthcare officials having reported around 80 cases of the disease. And the World Health Organization has reported another 50 suspected infections. On Friday, France, Germany, Belgium, and Australia joined the growing list of countries with confirmed cases.
The monkeypox virus is considered to have moderate transmissibility among humans. The likelihood of further spread of the virus through close contact, for example through sexual activities, is considered to be high.
The viral disease is fatal for about 1 in 10 people, according to the World Health Organization, and there are ways to treat the illness. People exposed to the virus are often given one of several smallpox vaccines, and antiviral drugs are also being developed.
This is a drug that was developed under sponsorship with the U.S. government, primarily to be stockpiled for use against smallpox should it ever recur or be used as a bioweapon. The particular drug, however, works against a whole family of viruses, smallpox, vaccinia, cowpox, and notably monkeypox. It's been approved for treatment of smallpox in the U.S. under the name TPOXX, and is recently approved in the EMA for treatment of all orthopox viruses that include monkeypox. I'm very optimistic this is going to be an effective drug.
There have been previous outbreaks of the virus in other regions, such as West and Central Africa, and in Nigeria, around 3,000 cases are reported a year, mostly in rural areas.
Over 30 people were injured in the German city of Paderborn after a tornado hit the west of the country on Friday. Of those hurt, 10 are reported as serious cases. Local authorities noted significant property damage with images showing roofs blown off, cars overturned and trees uprooted. Firefighters from all over the state of North Rhine-Westphalia have been mobilized to help with the cleanup operations in the affected towns. Other parts of the country, including Bavaria and Saxony-Anhalt, were also severely hit. German meteorological services issued a storm warning for Friday and predicted gales of up to 130 kilometers per hour in some areas. Railway travel has been disrupted and the police asked the public to remain indoors. In the city of Lippstadt, 100 people were temporarily trapped at a local outdoor pool after fallen trees blocked the exits. The bad weather first struck the west of the country during the day and moved eastwards later in the evening.
Former King Juan Carlos I has returned to Spain. It happened the way he wanted and surrounded by faithful friends. But he's come back from a self-imposed exile in Abu Dhabi now that all corruption charges against him have been dropped, partly because he enjoyed full immunity while in office, has received mixed reactions from the Spanish people.
I think he shouldn't have left, not only for what he means for this country, but also because he's a Spanish citizen.
He acted so well in the 1981 attempted coup d'etat. We should forgive everything he might have done.
I think this harmful, unhealthy and dangerous individual should be held accountable for what he's done.
I think he should have come earlier, basically to explain the reasons why he left in the first place, because we still don't really know.
The king reunites with Spain, the start of a new normal. A media show in a regatta has confirmed the fracture in the relationship between the former king and his son Felipe.
It was meant to be a discreet private visit, but the return of Juan Carlos has become a big affair, one that has triggered political tensions in Spain within the coalition government and the royal house itself.
Probably a majority of Spaniards will understand that King Juan Carlos comes discreetly, meets his family. He's actually doing the opposite. He has come with a photo call, so to speak, saying, here I am, I have the right to come. The more noise that Juan Carlos does, the worse for the monarchy. That's obvious.
Juan Carlos I will meet his son, the King of Spain, during a brief visit on Monday in the royal palace, but he won't be allowed to sleep over in the official residence. He will fly back to Abu Dhabi, where he will continue to reside, but he'll return soon for yet another private visit. Jaime Velázquez, Euronews Madrid.
North Korea announced finding nearly 220,000 more people with feverish symptoms. This comes as leader Kim Jong-un claims progress is being made to slow the spread of COVID-19. North Korea says that over 2.4 million people have fallen ill, and so far 66 people have died since an unidentified fever broke out late April. The country has only been able to identify a handful of cases of COVID due to limited testing supplies, and experts believe that the real numbers may be higher than those officially announced. Since the pandemic started 2.5 years ago, North Korean officials have been claiming that they managed to block the virus from entering the territory, but admitted to having cases of Omicron last week. Over 1 million health workers have been mobilized to find and quarantine people exhibiting fevers. Kim Jong-un also imposed strict travel restrictions between towns and cities, as well as deployed thousands of troops to help deliver medicines in Pyongyang. People flooded the streets of Uruguay in remembrance of those who disappeared during the military dictatorship era and to demand action to find their whereabouts. Carrying signs of the 197 victims whose fates are still unknown, tens of thousands of people marched in silence along the main avenue of the capital, Montevideo. Human rights organizations say that during the 12 years of the dictatorship, some 200 people disappeared. Former FARC hostage Ingrid Betancourt has ended her Colombian presidential bid. 20 years ago, she was kidnapped and held captive by rebels for over 6 years before being rescued in a military operation in 2008. Betancourt ran on the ticket of her environmentalist party with a strong anti-corruption approach, but her campaign never took off. During a press conference, she announced she would support independent candidate Rodolfo Hernandez. Boeing's astronaut capsule Starliner successfully made it to the International Space Station for the first time on Friday. This was Boeing's second attempt at launching a capsule towards the ISS, the first time ending up in the wrong orbit. This latest private company-funded space run achieves NASA's hopes of having competing US companies flying crews to the space station.